Hey guys, what's going on? New video today. I thought I'd do another Star System one since I've still got the free fly event going on. So yeah, I'm trying to take advantage of that. And I thought I'd do a video on the only ship that you start with when you do like these free fly events, which is the Aegis Avenger Titan. And I've seen a lot of like reviews. I've been keeping up with Star Citizen for a couple of years now. Back in I think maybe like 2013 I sort of first discovered it, and I've watched numerous videos on like which starter ship to get since I haven't actually bought a package yet. So I'm myself trying to look to see what ship is the best, and a lot of people say they should get the Avenger Titan or buy a starter ship, and then when the universe gets a bit more persistent then you should upgrade to an Avenger Titan. And I've been flying around myself, and I've had a good couple of days to test out in all sorts of areas, cargo running, combat, and etc. And I kind of wanted to make a video on like a guide, but to be honest, I want to talk about why I think the Avenger Titan is kind of overrated in a way. We'll talk about the ship first, what it has. So the ship itself is actually quite small for a its ship in general, but for a starter ship it's actually quite big. It's got a very, dare I say, like it's fat profile almost. It does have wings, which is a good thing for atmospheric flights. I don't know when they're going to decide to actually add that kind of mechanic where like boxier ships like the Aurora won't do as well in atmosphere, but ships with wings and such will perform much better. But yeah, I mean, this one feature it has, it's got this sort of like plain sort of design, I suppose. It's also got the sort of black and white style from like traditional spaceships of today, kind of almost. Like it's got like a little space shuttle DNA almost. But yeah, the ship is actually surprisingly large inside. I'm always surprised at how these small ships, such as like the Mustang Beta, can fit like a little like sleeping area in back. But let's talk about this. Let's talk about the weaponry first. So you've got this massive Gatling gun at the front. I'm afraid I'm not too familiar with all the names and stuff. This is on a gimbal mount, and for those of you who don't know what that is, it means that it swivels and stuff, so it's not completely fixed to the ship, so makes the gun more manoeuvrable. You don't have to fully turn your ship in the direction in order to fire it. For those of you who don't know, there are two types of weapons at the moment: ballistic and energy. Ballistic weapons have you need bullets for them, whereas energy weapons you don't. So they have like unlimited ammo in a way. While this is a powerful gun, it's not that powerful against larger ships such as something like a Constellation. So in terms of like against your everyday fighter, or a ship that isn't catered for combat, that's on a small scale, this gun and the other two guns there will be more than enough to handle it. But in terms of like larger ships, this isn't really enough. And also these energy weapons, you get two of these on either side, laser repeaters or whatever. And like I said, against like very small, unarmoured and unarmed targets, these would be fine, for like seal clubbing. But what I've found in combat is, especially when you're going up against bounties, you'll go up against something typical like a buccaneer, maybe 2 or 3 at a time. I really struggled with this weaponry to actually like kill targets in a short time. I usually had to get very close, give them long bursts of mainly this gun to do any significant damage. Also, you do get these missiles too on either side. Missiles are very useful. They're expendable, of course, which is the problem. You only get 4 of them, I believe, but they're very effective, and those are like the only real way to effectively kill ships, in my opinion, unless you like start upgrading your weaponry. But with the standard weaponry it comes with, I'm not too impressed, and you'll find it very difficult to kill multiple targets quickly, especially if they're like dodging your shots the whole time. Eventually you're just going to run out of ammo on this thing, and then you're only going to have these 2 laser repeaters, so not very good in terms of armament. But to be honest, that's not really the main reason you buy this particular ship. The main reason you buy it is for what's in the back, which I will open up and show you. So door here, Now this is basically what a lot of people say makes the Avenger Titan so worth it. It's this 8, I think you get 8 cargo units in it, 8 SCU of cargo in the back. And this is your sort of very small cargo ship essentially, that's what this is for. Come through here, nothing too exciting, a bed, which is useful because you can log off and stuff from there. I always recommend getting a starter ship with a bed. I think if you get a starter ship without a bed, you're kind of screwing yourself over because you're not going to be able to log off as easily. But then again, you are in a starter ship, so you won't be going too far, but it adds that level of redundancy that you can just log off wherever you want. Nothing too exciting on this side, and then through here is obviously the cockpit. We'll get back to that first, but this is basically the main reason you get this ship, is this little cargo space. And I was thinking to myself, a lot of people are saying, oh, this ship's amazing because it can take a beating, it can carry some cargo, it can sort of handle itself. And while it can definitely handle itself in combat against a unit or two of like very basic fighters, you don't want to get into combat with this thing ideally. You want to be using it for this rear cargo space. That's basically all you want to be using it for. So like I said, this is quite good in terms of cargo space. If you're like a starter ship kind of person and you want to have lots of cargo space, this is 100% the ship to go for, or at least upgrade to after you get like the Aurora or the Mustang or something like that. I am going to try and close up the back door. One problem with Star Citizen is it's a bit, there we go, you've got to stand on it to close it. There we go. You can get it in from there, and a feature I do like, which I have to concede, is this feature where you can just hop in from the side. Makes it a lot more convenient than having to go through the back and run through the whole ship every time you want to get in. Can I? There we go. So yeah, great feature this, and also exiting into 0G is a lot faster as well. But then I think we get into like another set of problems the Avenger has, which I think a lot of other ships don't, is this area here, all of these displays and readings and stuff. Now first off, I do want to say, like, viewing angles are pretty good. I mean, uninterrupted, views pretty much all round. Obviously you've got a bit of like metal here blocking your side to side, but when you're just looking ahead, pretty nice views, right? But this, like, first of all, the aesthetics I don't like. That's just a personal preference thing. I'd much prefer to have something like the Mustang series. I think they've got a much smaller and much better viewing angles than the Avenger Titan. But one thing I want to talk about is the HUD displays. As you can see, facing forward, I get the front 3 displays here, and then this 4th one down here. Now this one, as far as I'm aware, it can't be changed. This is your like target readout, as far as I'm concerned. And then you only get 2 displays here. The problem with this is, I want to be able to get as much information in the standard screen as possible, like this. And a lot of the time you'll find yourself moving your cursor up here, and you can already see, like, once I'm, because I've got gimbal mounts, I'm aiming up here, I'm trying to shoot ships. I'm cutting off the bottom half of these 2 screens mostly. So when you're in battle and you're like, trying to turn, I can't get enough information from my screen. If I'm shooting to the left here and up, look, I've just covered this screen here. I can't see what state my shields are in, which is pretty bad. If something's come at me, I don't know what, if my front shields are down, that's a huge problem, because I'm going to commit to attack, and then I'm just going to get absolutely screwed because I didn't know my front shields were damaged or down. I think that's a problem. I think if these were moved up to this kind of level, much better, because I'm turning. You can see I'm only cutting off like the very bottom of that screen there, but these are quite far down. I'm not, I'm turning. It's so hard to get enough information from these screens, and I've found that to be very, very, I don't know, just bad in general. in terms of when you're engaging in combat. I want to get all this information. I want to be able to easily adjust these things, but I can't because they're just too far down. Not only that, but having two screens, a lot of ships will have like two and then two below it, or like, you know, two here, two here. Why do I have one, two, and then it's like a third one that's, you know, don't even bother looking at this one. This should be set to something completely irrelevant, like comms. You know, you just won't even see this one in combat, realistically. So this is a huge problem, is this the HUD display is atrocious for the Avenger Titan. You just can't get enough information about your ship. You know, if I'm, you know, looking this way, I don't know what state my shield's in. If I'm looking this way, I can't remember what my power distribution is. So, I mean, I usually have this set to something like weapons, and then I can see my ammo. Why is my cockpit doing that then? Star Citizen is still in pre-alpha, so we'll leave it alone. Well, technically, I know it's in alpha, isn't it? But yeah, that's one problem that a lot of people don't forget, is a lot of new players won't know how to read these screens and they won't really care about it. But the problem is they'll start with something like the Aurora or the Mustang, and they'll get used to how many displays and how easy it is to read all the information at once. They'll get an Avenger Titan thing and it's a superior ship, and then you can't read any of your displays. And you know, some people might say it's not that important, but I think it is. I think it's extremely important, especially, you know, shields and like self status, to see how fucked up your ship is, because you can't combat from third person. You can't see the exterior of your ship and fight. You know, everyone fights in first person, but you know, you can easily enter in combat and then halfway through a battle get your ring ripped off, sorry, and you might not even notice. So that's one problem, major problem in my opinion, is just these displays. And not only that, but I think the ship itself isn't as maneuverable as the other starter ships, like the 300 series, the Mustang series, even to some extent the Aurora series feels slightly more maneuverable than the Avenger Titan. And like I said, it's quite a fat ship, you know. It's just big and bulky. It's got a huge profile, you know, whatever way you look at it. Yeah, it's got a huge frontal profile, an enormous rear, top, bottom. You know, this thing's easy to hit because it's such a large target for such a, what should be relatively small ship. I mean, you can see there the size of the person in comparison to this ship. It's a fat, bulky ship, and I think that's why it doesn't handle as well as these other ships. And with a ship that, yes, it could take a bit of a beating, but if it can't get out of a situation, you're screwed. You know, you're just going to go down. So I'd have something more maneuverable, like a Mustang, and that can get me out of a situation, rather than something that can just take a beating for longer and not really be able to dish out enough damage to get out of a situation. We'll quickly fire it up and I don't know, just have a quick fly around. I'm currently on Hurston at the moment, for those of you who didn't realise, but yeah, let's show off the weaponry first. I'll show you the gears actually. Can we stay still? There we go. Alright, nothing special there, but yeah, like I said, the profile is quite big for such a relatively small ship. But yeah, let's show you the weaponry. So we've got these laser guns on the underside. Not a huge amount of firepower. I mean, realistically, I like these because they just don't have ammo and you can just fire them wherever, but they're not doing high damage. Your main weapon is going to be this. This is going to be a lot more effective against ships. And it is nice to have that gimbal mount. If this ship didn't have a gimbal mount, honestly, just avoid it. But you know, combined firepower isn't too bad, but you know, like I said, you're going to struggle against like combat orientated ships. Why is my cockpit doing that then? Let me know if you guys are having that glitch, or I don't even know what it is. But yeah, performance is not... Oh my god. Can my cockpit stop fucking around, please? There we go. Right. Hang on. Let's open the cockpit ourselves manually. Now let's close it. Now, please don't fucking open again. In terms of movability, with the gimbals, it's oh my god. Oh, guys, I'm losing the will to live here. Another problem with the Avenger Titan seems to be the fucking canopy won't stay shut for more than 10 seconds. But let's get back into the point of these, the heads-up display real quick. I mean, look, I'm in combat. I'm trying to fight some ship over here. Boom, I'm going down. You know, I'm shooting up. You know, just keep an eye on where those like screens are and how much you're cutting them off and how hard they are to see in like your peripheral vision. You know, I'm trying to shoot ships. I'm over here. I've got no idea what's going on with my shields, for example. You know, it's one of those things where a lot of people don't really realise how useful these screens are. A lot of people don't even know how to use them. I've seen videos made on like how to read all your screens, and I can do a video on that if people want to kind of show you guys why it's so important to have screens that you can see in your peripheral vision. Or maybe it's just me. Maybe I just like to have a lot of information in my peripheral vision to know what's going on with my ship at all times. But like I said, you're firing up here, you're chasing ships, you're like, you know, your eyes on killing the ship, and oh my god, this fucking... Oh, why is my ladder open? Why is that happening then? There we go. Now it should start behaving hopefully. But yeah, I keep losing where I was going now, but yeah, essentially what I'm trying to say, maybe it's just me, I like to have a lot of screens so I can see what's going on with my ship, but some people may not care. And yeah, I don't think it's got enough firepower to take on combat focused orientated ships. I also don't think it's got the speed, not in atmosphere, it doesn't even handle like it's got wings at the moment. It handles quite, you know, like fat, because that's, no, it's, guys, I promise you it's not me, it's not, I'm not pressing any buttons, alright. But yeah, I think the only selling point of the Aegis Avenger Titan is the bed, the 8 SCU of cargo, and if you're into it, the aesthetics. Other than that, I think a lot of people should skip over the Avenger Titan. I think you should stick with something like a Mustang for your starter ship, and then hop over to a 300 series. That's what I would do, because the 300 series has, you know, the cargo space. It's also got a bed, and I think it can come with better weaponry and speed and maneuverability and looks. The 300 series looks ridiculous. This looks like, you know, like a really old ship. You know, I hate the design personally, but you know, that's been a complete this video, right? Yeah, I mean, this video has been a complete ramble. Obviously you guys can tell I'm not exactly the best at making videos yet, but who knows, I might get there. But yeah, that's been a very confusing Star Citizen video on the Aegis Avenger Titan, and why I think the majority of people should just avoid this ship overall, and should basically stick with a Mustang or an Aurora, or skip over this and basically get something like a 300 series. But yeah, I mean, let me know if you're having this cockpit glitch as well, because I swear I'm not pressing any buttons. This thing's just opening on a mind of its own. You know, it's obviously Star Citizen in alpha. It's going to be buggy and glitchy. just something we've got to put up with at the moment, unfortunately. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'd be interested to see, because a lot of people have like a plan in their head of what ships they're going to move to. Like, they're going to start with this, then move to this, and move to this. And let me know in the comments what kind of ships you're going to buy, especially these like starter ships, the early ships. Or if you disagree with, you know, what I've said about the Titan, do you think that it's actually an extremely useful ship, or it's got its own perks, or I don't know, maybe just weigh that 8 SCU of cargo with extreme importance, and you're going to be like cargo hauling, and you just want something that's, you know, big, fat, can carry a couple of weapons and your cargo from point A to point B. Anyway, you know, thank you guys for watching. Like I said, sorry the video's a bit all over the place. I don't really script these or have any, like, you know, plan to them really, but hopefully in the video, in the future videos should be getting a bit better, hopefully, but we'll see. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later.